here and welcome back to some more Everything Ratchet & Clank. The purpose of this video is to briefly go over some unanswered questions of the Ratchet & Clank franchise. Now luckily, one of the writers of Insomniac, who's worked for the company for 7 years, has briefly answered some of these questions for us. This guy's name is Todd Fixman. He stopped in 2013, not because he didn't like the series, but he just wanted to move on to something else. Now, some of these unanswered questions are as follows. For example, what happened to Ratchet's parents? Ratchet's parents were briefly mentioned by Tachyon in Tools of Destruction before facing him. He basically told Ratchet that he took their lives during the war. That's all we know so far. What if they survived? We don't know. And what about the Lombaxes? The Lombaxes were mentioned in Tools of Destruction and A Crack in Time. Apparently they escaped the galaxy into another dimension using the Dimensionator. But the franchise's story hasn't been really focused around the Lombaxes. I mean, this story could have had potential. And what about Angela? Angela was a character from Going Commando. She's one of Ratchet's species and she was confirmed that she's a Lombax. But she fled the galaxy. And that was mentioned on a radio broadcast in Crack in Time if I'm not mistaken. Now, luckily Todd Fixman answered some of these questions for us. His replies were posted on July 10th, 2015. I know this isn't recent news, but it's kind of interesting to share it with you guys. And this was posted on the Ratchet Galaxy forums. Now, I'll go over some of his replies to these kinds of questions. Now, a question regarding Ratchet's parents. For example, do you know what happened to Ratchet's mother? Yes, I know what happened to her, and Kaden. But I never got a chance to tell those stories, so I have to keep it a secret in case Insomniac, or whoever, decides to tackle that plot. So he briefly answered this question, but we haven't gotten a specific answer, which sucks. So he also posted a reply regarding his exit of the franchise. Why did you decide to leave Insomniac and move away from the series? TJ's reply, I was at Insomniac for just under a decade, and I am truly grateful that they gave me a shot at the franchise. But I had written around 8 Ratchet games, and I was starting to feel a bit antsy. Not because I didn't love the universe, I still do, but because I wanted to do other things as well. He simply wants to move on, just like I mentioned earlier. At the same time, I was writing features, and I just sold a few things around town to Disney, Universal, and New Line, and those projects needed further development. I looked at my schedule and saw that I only had so much time, so I decided it was time to move on. But even after I left, still worked with Insomniac on the Ratchet & Clank PS4 title. That's cool. I love Ratchet & Clank and will always do what I can to help. I just want to write other stuff as well. So see, that doesn't mean he hates the series, he just wants to move on. Here's another interesting reply regarding the Lombaxes. Will Ratchet ever find the Lombaxes? Never say never. I have an outline in my head for Ratchet's return to the Lombaxes. But a new writer may have another idea. Who knows who will write it, or which version will become canon. Hopefully we get something new out of this eventually. About the Lombaxes. I mean, the story really has potential, and you can even make the series go even bigger. Now, some people might think that once Ratchet finds the Lombaxes, the saga will end. I agree a bit on that. Here's TJ's reply. That's true, it's Carrot that Ratchet is always after, and if he gets it, that kind of changes who he is. Would he still be called Ratchet? Would he still have the same drive? So much of his identity would need to change that it may dilute who he is. That said, I do have a plan in my head for how to do all this, in a way I think is really cool. But who knows if it'll be me who does it. In a way, it could be the end of this series, but they could come up with something new finds the Lombaxes. One interesting thing I wanted to mention, guys. Apparently Ratchet has another name, or Ratchet isn't his true name. Here's what TJ mentioned. I know Ratchet's Lombax name, but I took it out of A Crack in Time because we want to call him Ratchet. It's part of who he is. I wonder what his name is. Now, what about Angela, guys? Here's a reply TJ posted. Angela fled the galaxy with the help of Max Apogee around the time Tachyon came into power. I never got to write for her, but I love the character. So, TJ never wrote for Angela, that means he doesn't really know what happened to her. So I don't want to read the whole thing, guys, so I'll leave a link in the description below. So tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that the Lombaxes will return eventually in the future? Will Angela make a return? Will the future of the franchise focus around Angela and the Lombaxes? Or perhaps the mysteries behind Ratchet's parents? So tell me what you think in the comment section below. Thanks. Until next time.